What's going on, everybody? It's Monkeyfarm. We are back with another Create Mod tutorial. This one is going to be a very exciting one. I think you guys are going to like it. You guys have been liking a lot of the previous tutorials I've been making using this mod. I'm having a whole lot of fun with it. Anyway, we are going to show you how to make an automatic gold farm. And in my live stream, I might already be building this. I'm actually going to go one step further in my survival world and make it an automatic golden carrot farm. The reason for that is I had a comment on one of my previous videos, and the guy's like, well, with all this stuff, can you make a golden carrot farm or something like that? I'm like, I thought about it for a second. I'm like, yeah, actually, I think I can. And he's like, prove it. I'm like, okay, I will. Here it is. So let me show you what's going on here. And by the way, I built this with a windmill to make sure that it could actually handle the stress. This is all powered by the windmill. I don't have any extra fans or motors or anything like that. So it definitely can be built in survival world. And this is the stress, the current stress at the current speed with, I have some extra speed buffs right here with these gears. All right, so this is what is going on. Obviously, one of the first things you'll build using this mod is a cobblestone generator. So we're starting with that. And what that will give us, if we drop the cobblestone into this milling machine, which works similar to these grinding gears, it's going to give us gravel, as you can see, pop down right there. So the gravel is going to go through these grinding wheels, and it's going to be turned into clay and sand. So right here, I have a filter on this chest it's allowing all the clay in, but it's not allowing any of the other stuff in. So the sand gets here, and it gets washed by this fan blowing on the water, right? So finally, we have a certain percentage of sand that will turn into clay. So once that sand potentially turns into clay, and we get 4 of those, we're filtering out 4, we're sending it over here to make a clay block, which is basically just 4 individual clay put into a crafting recipe like this into the clay block. Now that clay block, I'm trying to wait for one to happen. Let me see. Let me throw 4 clay in here so you can watch it in action. Okay, so we've got 4 clay that came up here, just got put into the crafting recipe. Bam, it gets shot out as the clay block. We're smelting it using this, and it's going to turn into terracotta at some point. Let's watch it. There we go. Terracotta gets sent back into the grinder again. So the terracotta now just, do you see that red sand? The terracotta becomes red sand, which it's backed up, but we're allowing it to get put into this chest. And then what we're filtering out of this chest is either gold nuggets or red sand. So it's letting both of them through, because sometimes if sand is backing things up, the red sand will actually turn into a gold nugget back here. So we want to let them both through. So we're letting through gold nuggets and the red sand, and then ta-da, we have 27 gold nuggets so far, because we're washing that red sand. And in this mod, I'll show you real quick. So gold nuggets, there's many ways we can get these, but let's see, we can grind up horse gear. We can grind up soul sand, we can grind up this stuff, but also red sand. If we wash red sand, we get gold nuggets. So basically, this whole process was to figure out how do we get red sand. And we're going to see another one come through here in a second. There's the red sand. So that got pushed through here. Hopefully it'll turn into another gold nugget when it gets washed. There's only, I think it's like a 12% chance or something like that. Yeah, so that one didn't turn in. So it's not like 100% efficient, but it's 100% free, because all this is getting generated by the cobblestone generator. And as you can see, I have it going a little bit too fast. The cobblestone is actually kind of overflowing, but hey, better to have too much than not enough, because the faster you can get this machine running, obviously, the more opportunity you have to end up with some gold nuggets. All right, so you guys want to learn how to build it, I guess? Let's do that. All right, I think a good way to do this is to start with the drill, because that's kind of up in the sky, and you want to make sure it's high enough. If you're trying to build this above ground, I did dig down 1 block, so we're gonna do that. Build it up 7 if you want to be completely above ground. But basically, this thing is about 6 blocks or 6 or 7 blocks tall. And I built it that way to keep a small footprint, obviously. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we want our drill to be right here. That's going to be our starting point for the cobblestone generator, and we're going to build everything else around this point right here. So let's get some glass real quick and build a little cobblestone generator. Whoops. Sorry for the glass breaking noise. I'm sure that's fun to listen to. And we'll leave a block underneath it for the milling machine and the cobblestone to fall down. Let's see, we need a stair so our water doesn't turn into obsidian if the timing is off here. And some lava, and bam, we have a cobblestone generator. So the other thing I did with this is I used a mill instead of using 2 crushing wheels, or 2 sets of crushing wheels, because what we're doing, we're grinding the cobblestone into gravel, and then we're turning that into sand below that. We could use 2 sets of crushing wheels, but they changed the recipe. If you see a mill, it's very inexpensive to make. And in my survival world, I only have 2 crushing wheels, and they changed the recipe to this, which I can actually build. It's just I haven't built this many mechanical crafting boxes. We need, like, let's see, 9 plus 12, or wait, yeah. So that's a lot. We need a lot of mechanical crafters to build this. So obviously I only have 2 crushing wheels built at the moment. And it is better to have 2 crushing wheels because we're going to be throwing in multiple items. We're going to let the gravel drop, and we're throwing in the terracotta. So crushing wheels are better. So I will leave that instead of trying to use 2 millstones. So I think that'll be better. So basically, the cobblestone, when it gets broken, will fall into this millstone, and we need to extract it using an extractor. Imagine that. And now we're going to have that fall into the crushing wheels. So we need a gearbox, an upright gearbox, because this is going to connect over to our power belt that we're going to build in a second. And then below that, what we need to do is have 2, actually we need the sideways gearboxes spread. We need a shaft distance, a single block in between, because we're going to connect them with a shaft. And let's rotate that a couple times with our wrench. Okay, so this is where our crushing wheels are going to go. So let's slap those puppies down. All right, so what's going to happen? The cobblestone will break. It'll get extracted from the mill. Or actually, sorry, the gravel will go in here. I mean, the cobblestone will come in here. It'll be turned into gravel by the mill. The gravel will drop into the crushing wheels, and then that will drop sand down into our washing fan. And let me just double check the exact spot we want the fan. We want it 2 blocks behind the wheels here. So wheels are here, so that's where the fan's going to go. Now, let's get to the belt. So behind the drill, I'm just going to build a couple. You don't need several shafts behind this, but you do need at least 1 open shaft before you start building your gears and your motor, your windmill, whatever it is you're using to power this, because we need to run a belt all the way down to the ground level where this fan is. And that's why we needed the fan right there. So, bam, we are connected, right? Now, the way we're going to connect this stuff is we are going to put a shaft right here behind this gearbox. And then we're going to put a shaft on this gearbox, and we're going to connect the 2. So, bam, our power is powering this drill. It's powering the millstone. And it's also powering the crushing wheels with these 2 gearboxes that are connected. All right, had to make it daylight real quick. Let's see, we need some water because we are going to wash things. And we need some pressure plates or something like that. All All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4. We need some chests right here. Now you can use chests or crates. Chests are cheaper and they work just the same for this particular build that we're doing here. So basically what's going to happen is the sand is going to drop down here and it's going to get pushed into this chest, and we need a funnel to collect things from this chest or from the washer, but we don't want it to collect everything. So we're going to put a filter on this in a second. The other thing we want to take out that we don't want getting into this chest is we want to put 2 blocks back and another funnel. We want to put flint because when the sand gets or when the gravel gets ground up, we get sand, flint, and clay. And we want to pull the flint out immediately because it's not useful for anything in this recipe. All right, I was going to show you the filter, but I think it's going to be confusing if I show you right now because if you remember, we're going to have the terracotta come through again and get turned into red sand, which we also need to filter. So I'd rather do it all at once rather than doing it twice because it might, by the time all that stuff is built, it might confuse you. So just keep in mind that we're grinding up the gravel, and what we're getting out of that right here is sand, flint, and clay. So we want the clay. The clay is going to come into this chest, and then the sand is going to wait out here until it gets washed into clay, and then we'll get more clay in this chest, right? So that's all we need there for now. Now what we need to do is we want to pull out the clay and send it over to the crafting recipe because we need a clay block, not just these clay globs or whatever these things are. So anyway, we have to craft 4 of these into the clay block. So what we're going to do is we're going to put a filter on this chest and add the clay blob to it, but we want to set it to 4 because we want this isn't totally necessary, but you want to fill the recipe all at once just to make things run smoothly, right? So we need 4 clay to make this block. So basically I want to set this, dump out the 4 clay when you have all 4 of them in the chest ready, right? So now what we need to do, we need to build a little ramp up here, and that's going to dump these onto this area right here. I don't know what that means. Dump it onto this area. Anyway, we need to ramp it up to these crafters is what I'm saying. Let's see, where are the crafters? Okay. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and the direction well, there's a bunch of different ways you could do this, right? But I want to pull the clay blocks out of this top right one. So I'm going to point everything somehow towards that block, right? And there we go. So it's kind of going in that loop direction. It doesn't matter that that these 2 aren't connected versus this one. It doesn't, you can do it either way. It doesn't matter. But what is important is that we connect. Here, let me take off my goggles. It's kind of blocking the view of what you need to see. See this connect, disconnect? When you click this with your wrench, right click it, you're going to connect these crafters or disconnect them. And we need them all connected. So if I can just do that, why are you not connecting? There we go. Okay, so all these are now connected into one recipe. So everything is going to get put into a chest right here. Where did my chest go? All right, let's dump all that stuff into a chest. So what we're doing is we also have to have a funnel to pull those 4 clay into this little crafting recipe. And we don't have to put clay here in the funnel. Basically this funnel is going to take in whatever is on this belt, but I'm going to put clay here just because if I accidentally drop something on here or I kill a mob and the zombie flesh falls onto the conveyor belt. I don't want it getting stuck in my machine and everything. So I'm just going to say, don't let anything in here but clay, because we don't need anything else in here, just the clay. All right, it is daylight again. What I'm going to do is actually make this a double chest right here, because we need to extract the clay blocks that pop out of here, but we also need to smelt them. So I need the room to put our fan here, because we need to put some lava in front of it. Now, I noticed some fire on one of these blocks. I think the fire spread from the lava. I don't know if it catches any of these blocks on fire yet, but hopefully it doesn't. Anyway, I guess I'll find out given enough time, right? But what we need to do is put some lava here. So it's going to get scary. All right, so we're going to put lava here. Let's put some pressure plates down first. We may have to replace them with some gears and things like that coming through here, but at least for now, we'll be able to put the lava down. So basically what's going to happen is when those clay blocks get crafted in this machine right here, they're going to pop out, and the fan is going to blow the clay block over here. And it's going to turn those clay blocks into terracotta. So we need another funnel, and we need to tell the funnel to only allow terracotta in. Let's see, the regular terracotta, not orange terracotta. They look kind of similar. Okay, so this is going to basically the clay block is going to drop here. The fan isn't on yet, but it's going to smelt into terracotta, and then we're going to send it back up into those grinders. So why don't we power this thing up though first? So we're going to need some gearboxes. Now, there's probably a slightly more efficient way to do this, but I went for compactness rather than efficiency. Because obviously if you're going to build this whole thing, it's not like you're going to build this on your first day. If you're building it in survival, you're going to have some materials. So anyway, I'm going to throw a gearbox right there. And then what I want to do, there are encased belts. And I want to take a couple of those and connect them here so that I can power this fan and this gearbox from our existing power belt that we built in the very beginning, right? So let's find this shaft again and connect it to this encased belt. And now what we're going to do, we're going to pull out the terracotta once it's sucked into this chest. I'm going for efficiency, compactness, but also making sure everything runs smoothly and I don't have to worry about, things not being correctly correct. Let's just leave it at that. All right, so now we're going to make another belt, and this one is going to go up. I might have to we need this belt to go that way, so we're gonna kind of do it like this. And I think that is correct. Yes. All right, so we're going to throw another belt going up to there. So anything that pops out of this chest right here, which is terracotta only, and I guess I can put another terracotta saying don't put anything on this belt except terracotta out of this chest. And that's going to pop onto these belts, which we haven't powered up yet, but then it's going to hop onto this one, and then we're going to send it up to throw it back into these grinding wheels right here. So we're going to take another chest. Let's see. And we want to put it right behind the grinding wheels. So this one, the chest, in comparison to the other side, the extractor coming out of the millstone, it's one block lower and it's on the opposite side. So we want an extractor on that chest. And if you want to tell it only extract terracotta, you can. It's not totally necessary, but I'll just do it just for fun. Okay, so ultimately we need to get we need to get that terracotta from down there all the way up to here. So we need one more belt. The way you just connect, I don't know why that one's turning sideways. But anyway, so you can go ahead and break that. Let's throw a belt here. And then we just need another funnel to pull the terracotta in. Now we can tell it to only pull in terracotta also if we want. Now we need some encased belts again, because our belts are currently not connected. So if we want them all to be powered, you know, we kind of want to connect all of them. So I'm going to throw 2 encased belts behind here. And I think, yeah, that's how I did it. So now basically these belts are linked. So they are going to, I don't have to power them separately. All right, so the first thing that I want to hook up is the mechanical crafters. As you can see, they have some little cogwheels inside of there, and the way we need to make them work is to connect a cogwheel to them somewhere. I'm not going to do it right here. I'm actually just going to hide it nicely on the other side, because it's going to come in handy for powering all these belts too. So what we need to do, we need to take a couple more gearboxes. Now, remember this gearbox behind the smelting fan? We're going to put 2 more gearboxes connected there. So that one is connected here, and then we're going to connect another one. So basically this thing is connected powering this fan and these gearboxes, which is also connected to that little cogwheel powering this mechanical crafter thingy right here. Okay. Now to get down here, I guess we can just put a couple more cogwheels. So now we have 3 cogwheels, and let me just double check. Yep, that is working. That is the correct way. This is the way. And now that allows us to connect a shaft to this belt also. All right, we have a lot of connecting to do right now, and I think it might be getting a little confusing, or it might start to. So I'm going to try to recap a little bit where we're at. We have original belt right here, coming down here, shaft, gearbox, powering our smelting fan. We have some extra gearboxes with a cogwheel powering our mechanical crafters. We have some more cogwheels and shaft just so we can connect that to this belt right here. Now we have a lot of belts that still are not connected. We have this belt, and even this belt, which has the clay from the very beginning going into the mechanical crafters, right? So first, this gearbox right here is powered, right? So go ahead and throw a shaft right here. So that is now powered. This belt bringing the clay up to the mechanical crafters is now powered. So we also need to throw a gearbox right here, because we have a fan that we are going to place here as well. Okay, whoops. That fan is now powered by this gearbox, which is powered by this shaft that's powering the belt also, right? But we have something underneath here that needs to get powered. See the bottom of the belt? That thing is spinning, right? So we're going to use that to power this belt. All right. So connect that with some shafts, and bam, this belt is now powered. We could have gone up to here as well, but I don't know if that would be going the same direction. This one I've already tested, and it makes sure that all the belts are going the direction we want them to, which is up. If the belts are going down, the items aren't going to go up. Get it? So we have to make sure everything's going the right direction. All right, it is time to show you what we're doing with the filters, how we're filtering all this stuff out. And I just realized there's an improvement. I don't actually need this second fan right here. So what I can do with the filters, let's walk through real quick. So we have 2 things coming through this washing thing, right? I had a second washer for the gold, which turns red sand into gold. But I realized what I can do is adjust the little filter, which is this thing right here. to do everything here. I don't need an extra fan. So remove that fan, and you can actually, let's see, you can remove that gearbox as well. So there, I just saved you a fan and a gearbox. Okay, so the way filters work, by the way, this is the normal filter, not the attribute filter. That one's different. It does different things. We want the regular one, and they're pretty cheap, so don't worry, it's not anything high tech. So we have, from the cobblestone, we get gravel, then we get clay, sand, and flint. The flint is already being taken out, so we're getting clay and sand here. So we need to allow, we don't want to allow sand because we want the sand to get washed and turn into clay. So we want clay to be allowed into this chest, and round 2, we have terracotta coming through here turning into red sand, which will be washed and potentially, not 100% of the time, but potentially become gold nuggets. So we need clay and gold nuggets only to be allowed into this chest. Otherwise, we don't want anything in here. So we can do blacklist or whitelist, meaning blacklist means we block a specific item and let everything else through, or whitelist, we only allow the items we want allowed in, right? Don't worry about these data ones. They're not relevant to this. So we want either the clay or the gold nuggets to be allowed into this chest, nothing else. So we're doing whitelist, clay, and gold nuggets. Checkbox, bam. It is on the filter right now. So now we come up to our funnel and click it, and you can see the funnel, the filter right there. So now the only thing we're ever going to see in here is clay and gold nuggets. And we don't have to worry about the gold nuggets being put onto this belt because we're only extracting for clay, remember? So the clay will be sent this direction and become terracotta. The red sand will come down here and potentially become gold. So the only thing we're going to have left in here is clay and gold nuggets. And I will put both of those in there. Our filter. Oh, by the way, I had to move this chest forward for the flint. I had it back 1 block, I think, in the beginning. So in case you realize your funnel is not taking the flint out, it's because you have to put it right up next to this block, you know, where the water wash is happening. Okay, so if things go right, we should get gold nuggets into here, and just for fun, I want to extract the gold nuggets only. So let's go ahead and I guess we could use like a transposer or something, right? Let's take our gold nuggets and put them into a special chest of their own. So gold nuggets. We will tell this thing to only pull out gold nuggets, and bam, we will get magical gold nuggets into... Oh, we just pulled all that stuff out. The clay got pulled out accidentally because I didn't have a transposer set. Okay, so the only thing we'll get here is clay. Gold nuggets will come all the way through to the end. Let me reset the daylight, and we will let this thing run, and we'll hopefully see a gold nugget being created. Okay, I'm just going to throw a motor on this thing. But real quick, I'll show you the speed gears that I have set up so that if you're building this in survival, you'll know like how much stress the machine can handle. So we have a windmill. If you don't know how to build that, watch my my overview, my video on just the basics. Then we have coming out of the drill area where this belt is, I just have a gearbox. You don't actually need that. But you have a small gear connected to a big gear with a small gear on that, connected to a big gear, another small gear, and the big gear here. That's connected to the mechanical bearing and the radial chassis for the windmill with a bunch of wool. All right. So that is the speed I have set for it. This I'm just going to turn and maybe put up to like, I don't know, 48 or so. And we've got some terracotta coming in here, but let's watch. We've got cobblestone making gravel out of the mill. We've got sand. We've got flint coming into here. We should be getting some clay. Hopefully the sand will turn into clay. It's not 100%. Oh, we're already getting some red sand coming through, and that should have a chance to wash into gold. Let me take the gold out just so we see. I think we might have already had one. Let's see, we've got 2 clay already. Some more sand. Hopefully that will become clay. Nope. Oh yeah, we got 2 clay, so that one just crafted the recipe. So we should be getting our terracotta, or I mean our clay block that will become terracotta. We're smelting it into terracotta right now. Bam, we got it. Now it's heading up here, going back into the crusher. There it is, and there's our red sand. Come on, become gold. Please, we gotta do it. We gotta show... It didn't do it. I think it is a 12% chance. Let me check. Gold washing, 12% chance, yeah. So basically 1 out of like 9 red sand should become, like, not exactly, but 1 out of 9 roughly will become a gold nugget over time. Should we put like a big stack in? Just so we can see it in action. Yeah, so this is going to be something that you'll want to run for a long time, but just leave it running forever. And basically, you know, while you're out doing stuff around your base, you'll just be generating gold. And then, like I mentioned in my live stream, I'm going to be... Oh, we just made some clay. I saw that. In my live stream, as I mentioned, I'm going to go one step further and make this into a golden carrot farm. So we're going to have to take the gold nuggets that we make. We're going to have to farm up some carrots as well. Oh, we got a bush. Apparently, yeah, the gold nugget thing gets... You get a bush occasionally, 5% of the chance, but I'll just... Oh, 23. So we had a whole stack. I put a whole stack of red sand and we just got 23 nuggets? That's not bad. So maybe I should hold out and only run a stack through? Like, I wonder if the percentage is higher. Because 23 out of 64, that's like a 30% chance, not a 12% chance of gold nuggets. So I'm going to have to research that. But anyway, that's how it works. I hope you guys enjoy it. Please check out my live streams if you want to see us building all this stuff in real time. And if you don't mind, you know, thumb up the video. These do take quite a bit of work, and I would appreciate it if you enjoyed the video. But other than that, have a good day. I hope you liked it. We'll see you later.